What is happening today, my More Squad? We are back with episode 2 of Talk More Sports, hosted by me, your main man, Hudson Moore. As you all know, it is 4th of July weekend, baby. Hope you all enjoying a great weekend. The sun is out, the barbecue set, the fireworks are going to be a great show tonight. Hope you're enjoying with friends and family. But with all that being said, though, let's just dive right into today's show. All right, y'all. So, this past week with the off season of the 2025 NBA season has been insane. Absolutely insane, especially with all these trades happening. I'm a little speechless. Just this past week, the Milwaukee Bucks have waived off point guard and future first ballot Hall of Famer Damian Lillard. Okay, now we clearly this whole thing has not worked out in the best of benefit for the Milwaukee Bucks after they traded for him midway through the 2023 season for Drew Holiday. And as great as Dame time is, it hasn't really panned out the way we hoped it would. Because when you had Dame, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez, it hasn't been the same. They've had two first round exits in the playoffs. And unfortunately, this past postseason, Damian Lillard tore his Achilles. And it's uncertain what the 2025-2026 NBA season is going to hold for him. And as is shown, the Milwaukee Bucks have waved him off. So he's no longer part of the team, and hopefully he could be part of another team because he is too damn amazing to not be picked up by anybody. And that is just a straight fact. And is it probably the best decision for Milwaukee? You can look at it both ways, in my opinion. Honestly, like, yes, you don't know what the next season's going to look like for him as far as his Achilles. I get that. Injuries like that are uncertain, especially with him being an older player, being at 32, 33 years of age. You know, he's not a 25, 26, 27 year old, so his age will come into play a little bit, and you don't know if he will even be the same after he's recovered. And then you also look at the other side as well. It's still Dame time. And what if he is healthy? What if he is back? What if he can be as good as he was before he got injured? And now you just lost him. Because then with him waving off, they signed free agent Myles Turner, center slash point forward, power forward from the Indiana Pacers. Now, I you obviously let go of Brook Lopez, so you need a big man for Giannis' help. And is Myles Turner a good pickup for him? Yes, it is. Absolutely. There's no denying that. I love Myles Turner. What he's done in this postseason for Indiana with Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, and those cats, well deserved for a 4-year, $104 million contract. Well deserved, no doubt about it. But is this gonna like give the Milwaukee Bucks a chance to compete for a title next season? In my opinion, absolutely not. Because you don't have a point guard. I mean, yes, you have Kyle Kuzma at shooting guard slash small forward, but still, it's Kyle Kuzma. We have not seen enough from this kid since he's left the Lakers. And with playing with the Washington Wizards has not been the same. Because I know people could say, like, well, Kuzma was with LeBron, Dwight Howard, Rondo, Anthony Davis. He was with all those guys. So obviously he couldn't be the star and the player that everybody thought he was. So they're like, okay, go to Washington Wizards, and still hasn't panned out the way it was supposed to. And now you're coming in here to Milwaukee and with Giannis and now Myles Turner, and you look at those three cats, it's just not enough. Now, if I was Giannis, I really will start asking for it to be traded because here's the thing: Giannis is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He could retire right now and he'll become a Hall of Famer. In my opinion, top 20, top 15 best players of all time. Honestly, I probably would put him in my top 15 if I'm being honest. I mean, you are a 10-time All NBA, two-time back-to-back MVP, Finals MVP, Defense Player of the Year, and you have finished top 3 in MV votings. I would say in the last 7, 8 years straight. And you just finished your third best season of all time just this past season in the 2024-25 NBA playoffs. You averaged 30 and 12. You were third in MVP votes. And not to mention in the playoffs, even though it was a first round exit, you averaged 33 and 15. 33 points and 15 rebounds. Right? So when I look at Giannis, you are 30 years old. You are in your prime right now, right in the middle of all of it. You already did the job. You delivered Milwaukee the first chip since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he was with them back in the 70s. You will go down probably as the better Milwaukee player than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson for that matter, honestly. In my opinion, I believe so. So when I look at Giannis, you got them the chip. You will get your number retired. You probably will go down as the best player in Milwaukee Bucks history. At this point, you have the money too. You have the money. So if I were you, I'd probably go for going to another team to compete for a title because you're not going to do it in Milwaukee. Myles Turner, as great as a center he is, it won't be enough. Kuzma, I'm not saying he's no scrub, but it's not Damian time. It's not Dame time. It's just not. So when I look at these guys, I'm thinking to myself, Giannis, you have accomplished so much in your career. You are no underachiever. Whatever Stephen A says, you are no underachiever. And I don't believe that. You have achieved so much, especially for a team like Milwaukee, how much you've given to them. So for Giannis, he needs to ask for a trade. Now, in my opinion, I am a diehard Warriors fan. I'll admit to that. I love Steph Curry, love those guys. So it would be an ideal situation to go to Golden State because that would be a guaranteed chip for you because you would be that missing piece they need. Because it clearly showed in the playoffs when Steph Curry was out in round two, they need an extra score. Now, as great as Jimmy Butler is, Jimmy Buckets, we love playoff Jimmy, but it clearly shows he needs another star to help him. Because then it's like without Steph Curry, then everybody knows they're just going to give it to Jimmy Butler. And it clearly shows that with his age as well, being 35, 36, he needs help. And with Giannis being in his prime right now, finishing third in MVP votes, he'd be the perfect addition with also that defensive set he has as well, helping out Draymond Green as well. Because let's not forget, Jimmy Butler, when coming to the Warriors, they were number one overall in defense when he joined the Warriors. So now you had a guy like Giannis, who is a former Defensive Player of the Year, that's 6'11", all muscle, all athletics. Hell yeah, they're going to win the chip next year if he goes. So in my opinion, it should be the Golden State Warriors, right? So it's unfortunate for Damian Lillard what happened to him in Milwaukee, but I understand why they did it, but did they really do them dirty? A little bit. I think they did. They could have waited out, see what happens. Traded him through, let's see if he even played through half the season next year. Then you could trade him during the NBA in-season trade deadline. But it is what it is. Hopefully Damian Lillard will get picked up. He's too good of talent to, regardless of the injuries. And I wish nothing best for him. But for Giannis, he needs to get up out of Milwaukee. And that is a stone cold fact. I don't care what nobody says. He needs to if he wants to save his career and win more titles. And that's just the truth. Now, as we kind of switch from the Bucks, we switch from the New York Knicks. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but Mike Brown, former head coach of Sacramento Kings, will be picked up by the New York Knicks to be the new head coach. Not confirmed yet, but I gotta say, for Mike Brown going to New York Knicks, that'd be something special. Because as good as a coach Tom Thibodeau was, and I still feel like them firing him was the worst call, especially because he's the first coach to take them to the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. 25 years, right? 25 years. Their first time back in the Eastern Conference Finals. And you do them like that? Really? Especially after they beat the reigning champs, the Boston Celtics? But nonetheless, getting Mike Brown would be a great addition. Because I'm not going to lie, if the Knicks weren't going to have a good coach, I don't think they were going to have a similar season to last year. I truly don't think so. So to get a guy like Mike Brown, I think that's a great move. I think that's a fantastic move for the New York Knicks to do. Because let's not forget, Mike Brown was a former, actually no, NBA Coach of the Year twice in 2006 when he was with Cleveland Cavaliers. 2009. And then in 2023, 22, 23 season, his first year with the Sacramento Kings, took him to their first playoff appearance since 2006, became Coach of the Year. And first and only NBA head coach to ever be unanimously voted as NBA Coach of the Year, right? Coach of the Year, unanimous. First ever to do it. Out of all the great coaches in the world, Steve Kerr, uh, seriously, Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, Phil Jackson, all these great coaches. Like, I'm speechless. The fact that this guy, Mike Brown, was named an NBA Coach of the Year unanimously over all those guys is crazy to me. And he did in his first season with the Sacramento Kings, who's a low market team, and have not been in the playoffs since that 2006 when they made it to 2023. So it's crazy to think that he was named unanimous head coach of the year. And that truly shows what kind of great coach he is, actually. And not to mention, he was the assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors during their dynasty run from 2017 to the 2022 NBA chip. He was their assistant head coach. So he's been part of a great dynasty as well. So he knows how to coach the game. So when you bring his offensive mindset to New York Knicks with Karl-Anthony Towns, with Jalen Brunson, with Mikal Bridges, with Josh Hart, with OG Anunoby, That's a great lineup to have with a great coach like Mike Brown. And even though it's not official yet, and I don't know why it's not yet, maybe it could be working out details, ironing out some contracts, some other personal things. I don't know. But I feel like Mike Brown would be the great addition for the New York Knicks to be a head coach. And if he does officially become the head coach, I think New York Knicks can go all the way in Eastern Conference next year. Because when we look at the East side, right, Indiana Pacers, unfortunately, it's just not going to be the same without Tyrese Halliburton and Myles Turner. Because Tyrese Halliburton is going to take at least a good, solid season and a half to fully recover. And then Myles Turner, their primary center, leaving, so that hurts them a lot. And then you look at Cleveland Cavaliers, even though they didn't lose anybody, if anything, they're just gaining more people by resigning, or not resigning, but signing Lonzo Ball from the Chicago Bulls. After what Indiana did to them in the playoffs in the second round, after losing 1 in 4 series, I question Cleveland a little bit. I'm not going to lie. As great as Donovan Mitchell is, one of the best all time scorers in postseason history, I love Spider. He's a great player. Evan Mobley, Defense Player of the Year, well deserved. Darius Garland, all those cats. I mean, it's a good squad. But after what they did in the postseason, I question a little bit if they're even a postseason team, if they're more just a regular season team, right? So when I look at those top teams in the East, there, there's no reason New York Knicks can't go all the way this year. And also, let's not forget Boston Celtics. You lose Drew Holiday, you lose Porzingis, Jason Tatum won't be out for at least a good year and a half. Even as great as Jaylen Brown is, and he's a great player, well deserves his flowers. And Derek White, I love him as well. But Boston Celtics ain't gonna do nothing next season. So when you look at all these teams, why can't the Knicks go all the way? Why legitimately can't they not make it all the way to the NBA Finals next season? I will not be surprised if by this time next year, we'll be talking about like Knicks were in the NBA Finals. Now let's see if they can go back next year and possibly win it again. Because I don't know if they would be able to win or not, but I could definitely see them going to the NBA Finals without a doubt. No question about it. You cannot convince me otherwise. I can absolutely see the New York Knicks with head coach Mike Brown taking them all the way to the NBA Finals. Winning it would be a different discussion, 100%. And now, as we kind of move from the East, we then move to the West. The Lakers extended LeBron James to a 1 year, $54 million extension, right? And then they signed free agent center, power forward, Deandre Ayton from the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I know we all said the Los Angeles Lakers needed a big man because after you trade away Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic, you're going to need a big man because then you're going to get eat alive in the paint, and that's just a fact. Does DeAndre Ayton really give them a boost and make it into the NBA Finals next year? No, nope, he does not. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He can play well after what he did with the Phoenix Suns, especially in his first year as a rookie when they went to the 2021 NBA title. Phenomenal player. He did a great job. But there is a reason why Portland Trailblazers, after 2 years, waived him off and not gave him an extension contract. There's a reason for that. They waived him off. There's always a reason for that. They didn't extend him, and after only 2 years, they did nothing. They just kicked him off to the curb. So, with that being said, is he really the kind of guy that will give the Lakers that little hump, that little extra edge to say, like, yeah, they can go all the way? I probably have to say no. I really don't think so. I truly don't believe so. Because I've watched him a few times. He honestly, to God, does not look like he knows what he's doing half the time. Like ever since he's left Phoenix, it's been a different player on that court. I mean, yes, he's averaging a double double, about 14 and 10, but it's just not the same anymore. It is just not the same. But I do believe though it could maybe give LeBron and Luka a bit of an extra edge. Because let's also not forget, Luka Doncic, as great as an offensive player he is a defensive liability. And LeBron James, you are a 40-year-old player. You can still average 27, 6, and 5. But it's hard because there's not that many free agencies with big mans on the market. Most of them have already been signed up. Now, if they would have gone somebody like Brook Lopez, that would have been a different story. So, do I feel like DeAndre Ayton could be a good addition? Possibly. But will it be enough? I truly, truly don't believe so. But as we kind of switch from the NBA, we kind of go into the WNBA. As it's been confirmed this past week, they'll be expanding new teams in Philadelphia, in Cleveland, and in Detroit. So by 2030, they'll have 18 teams in the WNBA. I truly think this is a great move for the WNBA. More market teams, more revenue, more fan bases, more of everything. And I love it. And I truly believe this is a great step because you want to expand the league. You have to. You're just going to have to, and especially with teams like Philadelphia, Detroit, and Cleveland, because also the history with those NBA teams as well, with the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Philadelphia 76ers, right? Detroit Pistons. Lots of great teams there and lots of great history of basketball. So getting franchises in the WNBA into those markets is fantastic. Now, I know people have their ups and downs about the league right now with Kaylin Clark, Angela Reese. I'll go into that for another time on another episode. But for now, people are just going to have to be quiet because I love what the WNBA is doing right now. I truly believe so. Now, yes, obviously with Kaylin Clark, when she was out for those 2 weeks with that ankle injury, the viewerships dropped by 55%, right? Now, does that make it look good for the WNBA? Not really, because now that we only need one player that actually people want to watch, when really it's a whole league. So when we have one player that everybody's watching and not all the teams, it doesn't look good because then what happens if she gets injured or retires early, or maybe if she lives and has a great 10, 15 plus year career and then she retires? Could we honestly say that the WNBA will be left off better if she ever leaves? And that is the question for another day. But again, I love, though, expanding the league to Detroit, Cleveland, Philadelphia. I cannot wait to see what these teams look like, what their team names are, their mascots, the players by the year 2030. I think it's a great idea. The only way you're going to expand it is to actually expand the franchise and expand the teams, expand the fan bases, the money, the revenue, the jerseys, the tickets, the viewerships, everything. That's what you have to do. That is what you're going to have to do in order to keep building and building and bringing in this more revenue. You just have to. So I want to thank everybody for listening to this channel. Comment down below what you think. Like and subscribe, please, on this channel. Hope everybody enjoys a great 4th of July weekend. Have fun with your friends and family. And until next time, we'll be back with more.